Munciana Courtside, Mike Lingenfelter, Randy Gardner, semi-state edition. Happy Halloween, big fella.
All right, past week highlights number 1A, number 4 in the.
It's the whole Halloween thing's got him a little. He's all
not used to the Friday show.
He's all amped up on candy corn Friday. So we'll start that again. 1A.
1A. Indianapolis Lutheran takes on Hauser, whatever it is. I don't know exactly how you can pronounce it on a regular basis.
Just got to pronounce winner.
They're the winner.
Hauser.
They're 1-4.
Wins in 4.
They had a pretty good night, it sounded like. 1A was kind of full of some things we'll get to a little bit later. Bloomfield had a crazy game. We'll hit on that a little bit later. But Trinity Lutheran, number 7, versus number 3, Christian Academy.
Christian Academy wanted to stay off the radar as long as he could. Well, you're officially on it now, baby. You're playing this weekend and you're doing something right. Christian Academy with the sweep. Good Trinity Lutheran team. Congratulations on a great season, but Christian Academy rolls on.
2A, number 8 Westview versus number 7 Adams Central. Adams Central is starting to look like the real deal. Sweeps them. None of the games were really that close. 20 was about the closest.
Well, evidently, Big Tom Finnicle from Southwood High School has been breaking down film on Adams Central for a week, and he was telling me there's several kids on that team that can flat out play. He said that's a team to keep an eye on and be concerned with. Westview's not concerned with them anymore since they got bounced by him, but Adams Central sweeps Westview and moves on. The house that Gross built will continue to get bigger.
Yep. The other game in 2A, Union County takes down Hertiage Christian, which kind of surprised me, but also we talked about Union County's gotten better throughout. They swept.
Union County is, we always talk about Avon. Union County's got a couple of kids that can bang it on the pin, good athletes. It's passing isn't a big deal in that situation, or as big a deal, because you're just going to kick a ball out to the outside hitter and let them be athletes. And Union County always athletically oriented, and obviously a very, very good team. Good year for Hertiage Christian, but better year for Union County.
Yep. 3A, Western Boone versus number 4, Brebeuf. Brebeuf beat them in straights, and just seemed like a little too much offense and everything else.
Well, like we alluded to last week, Brebeuf's been there. Yep. They're the champion until someone makes them not the champion. Western Boone's a little young. Like I said last week, my favorite coaching staff in the area. They're a beautiful little staff, and I think that they're going to be back in the hunt next year, but just a little too much for Brebeuf this year.
Yeah. The other game in 3A, we both went and watched. Number 7 Belmont versus number 5 Muncie Central. Belmont wins in 5. Some questionable calls.
Is that
questionable everything?
Questionable calls. I feel like I'm going to step into a Rex Ryan fine right here for the NFL guys when they complain. We sacrificed the integrity of the game a bit this week. I thought that there was some questionable as an understatement. I'm going to probably leave it at that. Just a rough match to watch on both sides because of some of the things that were going on in the stand. But both those teams are very, very good teams. Belmont much more physical than what I anticipated. Very athletic, very strong. I thought that the real difference maker in that game was probably, other than the guy at the whistle, was probably Bebout.
Yep.
Taylor Bebout was tremendous. 5-game war. And Belmont marches on. They're a very, very good team, and they've got a shot as they move forward, especially with Bebout running the show.
Yep. 4A, we talked about number 10 Perry Meridian versus number 4 Avon. Perry Meridian jumped them in the first set, took it, and then Avon got rolling and took the next 3.
As a good friend of mine once said, you make it do what it do, and that's what Avon is in that mode right now. They're just making it go, man. It's come late October, early November, all those cats do is win, and Perry Meridian, once again, kudos to you guys. Great season. Got a lot of guys coming back, so there's no tears. No tears there for Perry Meridian. I think they're only going to get better. But Avon is going to keep moving on.
Yep. Number 8 Yorktown versus number 1 Cathedral. Cathedral sweeps them.
Yorktown, I think, officially gets to move back to 3A. If I'm not,
Who really knows at this point?
The success formula. The only thing I don't understand anything about that, but I think Yorktown moves back into its normal population. Yorktown, we knew coming in, had to just absolutely play flawless to win, and they played well. They played well. It's just, Cathedral's just too big and physical, to get by unless you're doing something miraculous. And the serve pass game, we said that they had to get those guys out of system or off kilter, and not enough of that going on, and Cathedral marches on.
GearMunciana.com, semi-state preview, 1A of the North. These two teams will play each other. We'll hit on 4 of them. They'll end up playing in the semifinals and get their berth to the state finals. Bloomfield, which won 40-38 in one of their sets this past week.
Yeah, it's like Madison Baumgartner with the San Francisco Giants. That's some extra innings thrown right there. That 40-38. Yeah. I would have loved to see that. Oh, yeah. I would hate to have coached it, but I would have loved to see it. That's fun. Yeah. That is fun. And when I look at 1A, that's what I think of it. It's just fun.
It is. And
so you got Bloomfield and Hauser, and what else you got?
The other one would be number 3, Christian Academy, like we talked about, and number 2, Barr-Reeve.
We haven't talked about those cats all year.
They've been in the South.
And you know what all they are? They're the defending champions. Yep. Much like Brebeuf and Avon. They're the best. They're the guys that have, and Providence, my God. Everybody's still, and all the defenders are still rolling. Correct?
Yep. On that, who are you going to take out of those 4 to make it to that state final?
I'm going to go with the upset special in the North. I'm going to go with Christian Academy over Barr-Reeve. Championships, this time, composure and confidence are the key. Yeah. You got to play composed, and you got to have great confidence. I think Barr-Reeve will be the more composed of the team, those 4 teams. But I think that confidence-wise, Christian Academy is riding high, and I think that's important at this stage of the game. I'm going to go Christian Academy in the upset.
I also put those guys down. And the reason why I kind of went to is, like you talked about, they've had some quality wins, beating Wob, Hertiage Christian tournament. They were really fabulous.
They probably played a little meatier schedule than Barr-Reeve, but I will tell you,
both
Barr-Reeve came in.
Both got a great shot.
Barr-Reeve just came in and kicked tail last year. So if Barr-Reeve wins that, nothing against those guys. That's one of the finest overall programs in the state of Indiana. So, no disgrace to Barr-Reeve, but I don't know. I've just kind of jumped on the Christian Academy bandwagon.
Yep. Out of the south of 1A, we got Blackhawk Christian versus number 6 Pioneer. Should be a pretty good game. Number 5 LCC, Lafayette Catholic Christian, right?
Christian Lafayette
Catholic.
Central Catholic.
Oh,
you got the Christians and the Catholics rolling together there. I like that. Lafayette Central
and they're
Catholic.
playing number 1 Westview.
And Westview has no religious affiliation at this point. Randy's picked off of most of the religions already. I love what they do at Pioneer. Rod's a great coach. LCC and Westview they're familiar with each other. Those guys have been foes for quite a long time. I opened this year, which now seems like forever ago, touting Westview. I'm more of a Westview fan now than I was then. I said then that I thought they were the sole Delaware County team that I saw getting back to Titletown. I also stepped out and said I thought they could win it or would win it. That was really before I had a lot of knowledge about those guys. I'm going Westview there. I think that is a great semi-state. Rod Nyes and what he does, and then Lafayette Central Catholic's history. But too much Biff Wilson, too much Alyssa Sutton, just enough Prather and Petro. I'm going Westview. Warriors win that semi-state.
I agree. And just like you talked about, as the year went on, I watched Sutton. She just took over big-time matches when she needed to. I think last year, losing early in the tournament, kind of got them focused, and they're ready to roll this year. So.
Best player in 1A.
No doubt.
Alyssa Sutton, best player in 1A.
No doubt. 2A North, we got Cardinal Ritter versus Perry Central. Don't really know a whole bunch about Perry Central. I know Ritter's got a big time outside, and the Hughes kid. She rips it. Should be interesting. Number 1, Providence versus Union County.
You know, well, I tell you, Union County, we talked about their history, how solid they are and how physical and athletic they are. I will tell you that Providence is equally physical. Talking this morning to Bart Powell at Floyd Central, he talked about that Providence was the fastest team he had ever seen. I got to think that Providence will be a blur to Union County on Saturday. And that's no disrespect to Union County. That is nothing but the utmost respect for Providence. Ritter and Central, I like Ritter. But I think the bottom line, I think that I've said it all along, too much Providence. Those guys, rumor has it they're looking to get into the Big Ten. I think that right now they may be able to beat Rutgers or Maryland. So I like what Providence is doing. I'm going Providence in the 2A North.
And last, I think Monday, they just got their big time outside back off the knee injury, so that even makes them that much better. So it's Providence all
and the best damn fans in the land.
No doubt.
You know, those guys, I mean, now you got the best player back, you got your big bomber back, you got a full loaded deck, and you got the best damn fans in the land. Providence. I'm on a bandwagon. In fact, I may start wearing a T-shirt for the Providence tee from now on.
There we go. The other half, we got Bishop Noll versus Burris, Muncie Burris. They found their way back to the semi-state for the first time in 4 years. And then on the opposite, or on the same side, is number 7, Adams Central versus Southwood.
This is the hardest one to pick.
No doubt.
You know, Noll was there last year. Burris is legendary. Burris has won more state titles than anybody, and they had ruled this 2A thing for a long, long time until Wapahani took them down a couple of years ago. Adams Central, I've always had great respect for them and Southwood. I'll tell you, throw them up in the air. You know, Burris is probably the best serving team in that semi-state. Noll, maybe the most physical. Adams Central is probably the deepest. And one of my best friends in the world is coaching Southwood. I'm going to play the friend card. I'm taking Southwood. I don't have any reason to do so other than the fact that I think Tom Finnicle is amongst the finest human beings in North America. I go Southwood, go Knights.
Yeah. I also talked to Tom the other night, and he was up till, he called me, I think, 11:45 at night, and he was just watching film. You know, and he doesn't know if he's got that shot or the guns to get him there, but the cat's doing his research. And I can remember back when we played at WAP. And we were coaching at WAP. We played in that first game. They were ready to go.
They'll be ready to play.
No doubt, he'll make sure they're ready.
There's an old adage that said champions are built when physical preparation meets up with mental preparation. I have no doubt that Burris, Southwood, those guys are going to be mentally prepared. It's the physical preparation. Your kids executing. You can watch film until the cows come home.
Yeah.
But if the kids can't do what you ask them to do, it's going to be a short day or a long day according to how you look at it. But I like Southwood.
Yep. 3A North, we got Jasper versus number 4 Brebeuf. And the other game is Silver Creek and Lawrenceburg.
I love those teams all getting in there. I like seeing some new folks. We haven't talked a whole lot about Jasper, a great sports school, one of the finest sports schools in Indiana.
Yeah.
I go with what I've gone with all year long, in this case, Brebeuf. I like Brebeuf champions until they're told they're not champions, and right now they're playing pretty good volleyball.
Yep.
Very well coached, very well set. I've made that comment a million times. You know, in NCAA basketball at this time of year, at that time of year in March Madness, they always talk about point guard play and offensive rebounding. Point guard play in volleyball is your setter. Offensive rebounding are those second chance points. As kids are going to cover balls, kids are going to scrap to make a play. I like Brebeuf in that scenario. They know what they're losing. You know, that's a big deal. They're coming in as the champions. They've got something to lose. And they're going to fight a little bit harder to make sure they hang on to what they got.
Yep.
So I like Brebeuf.
And I think it's just like you talked about. They've been there 1,000 times. They've done the work. And they got one of the better setters, if not the best in 3A.
She's solid, very solid.
So we'll go to the south now. Number 7 Belmont. We talked about them sneaking in there. New Praire. And then the other game is number 2 Concordia versus Mishawaka Marian, number 1.
I like Concordia and Marian is a great matchup, 2 versus 1. That doesn't get any better. That is really a very good semi-state. It's one of my favorites of the bunch. We're getting ready to get to my favorite, but that is, when you look at it on paper, that's pretty intimidating. I like the Belmont team. Belmont surprised me. They're a lot more athletic than what I anticipated. And Craig's teams are always athletic, and they're very well set. New Prairie is every single year is in the hunt, and they're always gifted athletically as well. I like Belmont in that matchup against those two. Concordia and Marian's playing as good a volleyball as anybody in the state of Indiana. Anderson's as good a coach as anybody in the state of Indiana. We hyped them big when they were on that massive win streak. I'm going to go, though, with Concordia for a multitude of reasons. One, they were there last year. They've been there. In fact, they got there last year by pulling off a massive upset over Marian, a heavily favored Marian team. And, maybe Marian comes in with vengeance on their mind, but, I got to think that Trish Miller will have her group ready to play. They have the most formidable athlete in 3A. And Tiana Williams is a matchup issue. If Marian can't find a way to keep Williams off the net, they will not beat them. And so I'm gonna go with T and Concordia. Clinton had my back earlier in this year, and I'm hoping the big fellow will pull me through again. I'm going to go with Concordia to win 3A South.
Yep, and I agree on that one also. It's something you talked about.
Have you agreed on every one?
So far.
He accused me of cheating earlier. He made it look like I walked over and sat down on the pseudo set, and he was huddled over his stuff, trying to make sure I didn't cheat off of him, and so far it's the same. All right.
And we'll go to 4A.
All right.
4A North. We got number 4 Avon, 2-time defending state champs, versus number 2 Roncalli. And the other half of that North is number 7 Floyd Central, and number 1 Cathedral. Sorry, it is the South. I don't know why I put North with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sorry about that.
That is awesome. Well, I tell you what, this is, and I say this, I've said this a couple times this year. If you're just a volleyball fan, hell, if you're just a fan of high school sports, you should go buy a ticket to that. I mean, if you didn't have anything to do on Saturday, I'll be in Mexico, by the way, but if you didn't have anything to do on Saturday, I would go to this semi-state. This is as good a ticket as you can get. As good a volleyball as you can get. I look at it, Weddle and Prince, Lux and Schnell in the first one. Those 4 kids are going to be, they're going to be bombing balls. Those 4 kids are going to be playing college volleyball, and I'm not so sure all 4 of those kids aren't going to be major players at the next level. I love all 4 of those guys. I love all of these teams. I love both of those teams. I've been touting Roncalli all year long as the best served pass, most well-rounded team, scariest team in the tournament. Avon is the toughest team to beat, and we've said it all year long. They're coming, baby, and they always come at the right time. Then you go down to Floyd Central. I talked to Bart Powell this morning, and what a great coach. He's kind of breaking down what he was thinking about in regards to Cathedral, and I couldn't agree more. His preparation. I think that if there's kids or players out here watching, make sure you give your coach a hug, because it's amazing how hard it is this time of year, how much film you watch, how much you care. Bart Powell has just, gone to great lengths to get his team ready, and he's healthy, and his kids are handling the ball, and he's excited. He's got a scouting report that if they execute it, they can take down the Mighty Irish. And then you go to the Mighty Irish, there is not a coach in the state of Indiana, I'm not sure in the country, that cares more than Gene Kesterson. Cares more about the game, cares more about her school, cares more about her kids. From that standpoint, you look at that semi-state, every one of those coaches are great coaches. Every one of those teams has great players. I think that it comes down to this. At this time of year, I think also it's almost more important for your kids to believe they're ready than actually be ready. I think when kids believe that they are prepared, that they are ready to go in your battle, I think that they're going to be better off. And so whichever coach does the best job of convincing their kids they're ready will win that one. Based on sheer time on task and years spent in the trenches, I'm going to go with Gene Kesterson and the Cathedral Irish. It's been a tough year for Gene, and I've walked that walk. There's got to be some good, something. There's got to be some light shining somewhere, and I got to think this is Gene's light. I'm going to go Cathedral.
Yep. I'm going to go with Avon. Just based on the last couple of years, they've done a really good job. And until they lose, there's a lose. And,
I don't know if
it's
there's
the
a
same
bad
thing.
pick.
No, there is. You could really pick any one of those guys. And, Roncalli is riding high. Last week we were just talking about if they played like they did against Center Grove, no one could beat them, what people were saying. So, I don't think there's a wrong pick on that one. It's just kind of whoever catches fire and wins that last point. In the South, or actually it'd be the North since I messed that up earlier, number 6,
It's been
Carroll.
a tough show for
It
you.
is. Number 6, Carroll versus Elkhart Memorial, number 9. On the other half of it is Valpo versus number 5, Carmel.
That's an interesting. Those teams have seen each other a lot. I think Elkhart beat Carmel not too long ago. Carroll and these guys have all matched up. All 4 of these teams have been interesting teams. Carroll, Elkhart, and Valpo have been teams that we've danced around and
Yep.
really highlighted a lot off and on.
All 4 of them have been in the top 10 at some point.
At one point or another, and then Carmel is Carmel. It's we brag about what Scott McQueen has done in taking his team to back-to-back state championships. Well, Rich Coleman has taken Carmel to back-to-back state championship games. Getting all the way there and losing, that's a horrible feeling. We talked about that earlier this week in the office. I don't know if I'd rather just lose in sectionals and get all the way there and lose in the championship. But Rich Coleman's felt a little pain over the last 2 years, and they've got to be a hungry team. Yeah. I will tell you, I know a couple of those kids, and I'm the biggest Carly Scott fan there is. And I just got to think before she rides off the sunset, she wants one more shot at it. And if Avon is the team that gets out, as you've called, then I got to think that the Carmel Greyhounds want one more shot at those guys. I'm going to go. I love Quaid, the kid at Carroll. I like that Elkhart Memorial team. We talked about them. Always good, always physical. Valpo has been on the radar all year long. Beautiful coach team, but I'm just going to go Carmel. Experience and hunger, and I think Carmel wins that semi-state.
I agree. And then we talked about Carly Scott. I watched her at the Westfield sectional. They were down 1-0. And it was kind of, she switched gears. She kind of realized, this is the last run. I got to turn it up. And then she just took that thing over. She played unbelievable. Just found ways to take that team over, to take them to the next level. So. Well,
the bottom line is, I think this. I find a cantina with Wi-Fi. And we'll see who's right on these picks. We'll see who's celebrating, who's commiserating. We'll be back next Friday night when I jump off the plane. This show may be live from the airport. We don't know yet. But I'll jump off the plane. I'll have a giant sombrero on it. But until then, adios, amigo. Vaya con Dios.